What up, Wisconsin? Happy Monday to everybody. Hopefully your weekend went well. It's Monday, so any way to get through it is a win. Look forward to kicking it the rest of the week. See what's going on. Busy day to start the week. Hopefully it continues that way. Gets us through the week quicker. Again, this weekend, looking forward to going to be out in Pewaukee. That is on Saturday. I just had the event details. Saturday at 12 down in Pewaukee. Right on the lakeshore. It's going to be, or no, that's not a lake, is it? That ain't a lake, is it? Is it? Damn, it is Pewaukee Lake. All right. For some reason, I thought it was a little smaller than a whole body of a lake, I guess. Look at me trying to guess and be wrong. Jill, what's going on? Randy's in the house on YouTube. Love it. What's up, guys? Thank you for stopping out. Greatly appreciate your guys' support. We're definitely going to be hooking you guys up for always stopping out and supporting the cause. Much love to you guys. Appreciate everything you do. Always like to get things started with a shout out to our sponsors who make things possible. We're here for the podcast. Higher Love. Make sure if you're out in the UP, you give them guys a check out. They got the deli style flour, which is definitely hard to beat. And they grow a lot of it themselves. They got the organic green grows. It's pretty dope. We've got Mark in the house. We got Maddie in the house. What's up, guys? Hopefully your week is starting out well. Also give a shout out to Ignite if you're looking for a product in Wisconsin. It's a place to go. They are located across the state: Milwaukee, Spooner, Hayward, Superior, Manitowoc, New Richmond. They got you covered. Make sure you check out. I'm quite certain they have the largest drink selection around. They carry their own drinks, but they also carry a lot of other great brands as well. Lisa's in the house. Yeah, it's hot. That's for sure. Farm Bill is getting interesting. That's for sure, Jill. We actually got an article about that to kick things off. Let me get that pulled up with you guys here. Present. Anyone do anything interesting for the weekend out of the ordinary? Always like checking in with you guys. Kind of like my family. See how you guys are doing out there in the world. Again, it's disheartening that session is closed right now, so not everything is strictly Wisconsin because it's hard to figure out what's going on when nobody's technically at work at the state capitol, but we'll do our best to share everything we can find out there. Jeremiah's in the house. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you stopping by. We've got Danny in the house. What's up, man? Lisa's in here. Lisa worked today. Fun stuff. Got to do that though, I suppose. And actually, yeah, I gotta take care of my folks that are in here a lot. We gotta get you guys some of our cards and stuff to be passing out and stuff. Shoot the page a message. Let's get that figured out this week. Appreciate your guys' support very much. All right, we're gonna present a screen. We're gonna go to share screen. Yes, I'm sure. Here we go. Share. Whoop! Don't need it that big. I do that every time. This is supposed to save our setting, but it's technology, folks. Got to take what we can get. There we go. So something that caught my eye this afternoon was an article that got published. Looks like Wisconsin Public Radio. Also, you know what? You guys who are always in here, which is everyone who commented so far, if you guys want a shirt or anything, I'll get it to you at cost. So like t-shirts are between 11 and 15 at cost, depending on size. We got a couple sweaters left. Let's get loud out there. So hit it up if you guys need anything. We'll get you taken care of. Getting back to it here. So how Delta 8 is shaping the marijuana debate in Wisconsin. This seems to be the hot topic here lately. With obviously there was the concern of the Farm Bill amendment that got snuck into the early stages of the Farm Bill talk. All kinds of stuff going on. So I thought it'd be interesting to see who they interviewed because that would be my assumption. I don't know that WPR would really know what's going on unless they're checking with somebody. So let's see what they did here. The pharmacy historian says hemp-derived THC products like Delta 8 live in a legal gray zone, which we all know. Shoot me a message, Mark. I got you, buddy. Joe, you too? We got you. And we'll get you them handouts that you can help spread the word. Oh, we got can koozies too. I think our cost on those is like $3 a piece. They're pretty dope. Oh, it's out in the garage. Damn it. I never had my shit together, folks. I apologize. If anyone can find a mobile trailer, like an enclosed trailer, doesn't have to be big at all. Like even 10 feet long would probably be more than enough. But man, it is getting tiring taking these tubs of clothing, putting it in the SUV, taking them out, getting home, taking them out. Then a couple days later, putting them, man, if I could find a really good deal on an enclosed trailer, anybody wants to get rid of one at a decent price, let me know. Definitely can't afford anything too exotic, but that'd be really nice just to unload. Okay, we're done. And then just hook back up when you're going somewhere. That'd be dope. Have a dolly in there, that kind of stuff. All right, so back to the article here. Nice to see something related to Wisconsin. We'll see how this article shakes out. It's always up for debate on if there is any kind of education when it comes to especially the alternative cannabinoid market in Wisconsin. So let's see what we got here. Um, Basically saying, so this gentleman says, who's being interviewed here, he says, you almost need a PhD in agriculture and maybe also a law degree to understand what's happening here. He's not wrong. So he is this Reichert is a professor in the School of Pharmacy at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where he researches the history of legal and illegal drugs, including cannabis. So basically, he's been keeping a close eye on the latest developments as Deltate and similar products have quickly grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Again, those are going to be the shops that you see around Wisconsin that say they have products that contains THC. Again, there are ones that have good products. It's just very hard to find. Definitely recommend the folks that you see on our pages interacting with customers. There are good products out there that are hemp. Buddha, what's up, my man? Appreciate you always swinging by. Same goes to you, Buddha. If you want any merch, we also got can koozies now. You guys that are always in the chat here, we're going to hook you up at cost. So can koozies are $3. Shirts are 11 to 15. Just hit me up, buddy. I got you covered. If you're interested, trying to really take advantage of the summertime, people getting out and about, farmers markets, that kind of stuff. Let's get loud. Let's get loud. So he goes on to say, if you're wondering how these products are legal and why they seem to appear overnight, it goes back to the 2018 Farm Bill, and basically they didn't. There's no way that the people that passed the legislation actually knew what they were opening the door for with these products. That just can't be a thing. Because it has turned into the legit Wild Wild West out there. After the Farm Bill was passed, producers and business owners in Wisconsin quickly began to develop newly legal hemp-derived cannabis products like Delta 8, which is said to obviously be milder than Delta 9, as we know. So he goes on here to say you've got all these hemp products that are technically federally legal, and they're available all across the state of Wisconsin for all sorts of things. You've got oils and tinctures, you've got soft gels, you've got edibles, you've got topicals and vape products, you've got personal care products. You can go into shops that are advertising legal cannabis and get whatever you're desiring because of this hemp gray zone. But unfortunately, which I'm sure he's going to get into, it also leaves the door open for gas stations to sell who knows what. Well, hemp-based alternatives like Deltate are welcomed by some consumers in Wisconsin. It can be difficult to know exactly what to expect from these products in terms of potency and safety. He goes on here. He's quoted as saying, there are so many unknowns because of the Wild West. That is hemp-derived products. Consumers really have to do their homework. Completely agree with that. We've got a comment. Let's get that quick. Danielle says, firm believer that it would be legal by now, but the Wisconsin Tavern League or Wisconsin wouldn't make money on it unless they open smoke cafes. The good news is the Tavern League is definitely has come around. They're no longer lobbying against legalization, which is huge. And a lot of places are selling cannabis drinks. So I'm hoping they don't appear to be as big of a holdup of that, but there's just definitely something with the political side and some kind of industry, that kind of stuff. We're working on figuring it out for sure. It's definitely frustrating would be a great word. And Jill says, why Wisconsin's so awful? I miss NYC. I bet. We're working on it. We're trying to get the voice out there. That's really, I think, our only hope. Too conservative. Yeah, that does definitely seem to be something holding up the Republicans with legalization when it comes to recreational. We're going to figure it out. It's just they're out of session right now, so that really makes things interesting. So going back to the Delta 8 and the Wild West that they're talking about, he says right here, legislators here really have to reckon with this lost revenue that could be put to good use in the state. Yeah. Especially once Minnesota legalizes and every state around us is recreational or adult responsible use. It's just stupid that we are not legal. Earlier this year, Republicans proposed their bill that would legalize medical in the very strict manner, as we know, with the 4 straight run dispensaries, that kind of things. It says here there's also been talk among Republicans in the legislature about banning Delta 8 and similar products. Um, there's so much more to the cannabis plant that we don't really understand, he said. Um, Besides scientists grappling with what we don't know, I think social scientists and politicians are also grappling with what the marketplace could and should look like in the years ahead. So essentially, kind of what we know, it's a little bit of a clusterfuck out there, folks. Again, there is good hemp products. They're sometimes hard to find, but there are very good legal options out there in the state, and some folks doing it right, such as Ignite. Um, Delta 8 itself, I'm not a fan of, but hemp derived Delta 9 and THCA flower, definitely down for. What's up, Javin? Javin's in the house from Arizona. Mark says in Galena, Illinois, there is a bourbon distillery that has a kiosk behind the bar that sell pre-roll and gummies. I've been seeing more gummies pop up. 2-packs. A lot of bars have 2-packs now that are called something slaps or something. I don't know. You get a 2-pack. Pretty smart on their part because technically it's hemp, it's legal, all this, but especially the cannabis drinks. I love them. I'm not one to go to the bar to drink beer and be around drunk people, but if it got to be a little more cannabis consumption, yeah, count me in for sure. But it is great to also have options that are now being carried at like Woodman's and stuff as far as the cannabis drinks. Shout out to the guys. I know Goodland Extracts is in a couple or a few. I know Sensi and Honeybee Cannabis. They are in a lot, whether it is Woodman's or Festival Foods. So that is the nice thing about the current state of the Wild West being open in Wisconsin, where we have access to that without them having to try to fight over, how do we legalize drinks in the state? And then it takes 4 years to figure out that paperwork. So take it for what it's worth. But it looks like they are, trying to stay on top of the cannabis that's out there and everything that's going with it. So again, wanted to share that with you guys. That was from Wisconsin Public Radio. Apparently, they're listening in on the topics here. Again, as we keep making noise, hopefully these articles start getting pushed to the folks that are supposed to be working for the people. I tell you what, folks. This is good to see, and I'm sure a lot of us would expect this, but as we are able to get more and more information on data and research, love to share that with you guys. Make sure that's nothing crazy going off on the phone. People's use of alcohol or opioids causes greater secondhand harms than marijuana consumption does. I can definitely see that. Let's see what we got here. This is from looking at responses from 8,000 people to the 2020 U.S. National Alcohol Survey. Researchers found out that more than a third said they'd experienced secondhand harms related to alcohol use over the course of their lives. And unfortunately, I can see that just from like when you go to the bar, you go to Lambo, you go to any kind of event, there's always some obnoxious folks. And I'm going to guess, I can't prove for certain, and I hate to stereotype, but facts are facts when it happens enough. I'm going to guess that most of the folks that when you're out that are just annoying and loud and like spewing hate, whether that's at a packet, like these guys suck. How did I get that first down? Like, chill out, bro. Like, I've seen alcohol change people a lot, and usually not for the better. When it comes to cannabis, I mean, I'm sure there's been a time or two, where somebody's tried to take more than they should. Obviously that's not fun when people, but it doesn't, turn them into a bad person. Usually it's just kind of got to get them to calm down. We've all been a part of somebody greening out at some point, I'm sure. But just, man, people are so chill on cannabis, happy, relaxed. I don't know. I just love it. I know you guys do too. So it's not surprising to hear that there is a 34% of these people that said they'd experienced secondhand harms related to alcohol use. Just 5.5%, meanwhile, said they've ever experienced secondhand harm related to cannabis. That's a very small number. As for other substances, 7.6% of people said they'd ever been harmed by others' use of opioids, while 8.3 reported ever experiencing harm from unspecified other drugs. Interesting. Not sure what that is. I'm not a, I don't know drugs. I know cannabis, and it's not a drug. It's a plant. Let's go. When respondents were asked about just the past 12-month period, alcohol still caused the most secondhand harm with 6.2%, saying they've been harmed by others' use. Next were drugs, opioids, and then cannabis at 1.8. So those numbers make sense. Even 1.8, well, I guess, yeah. I mean, that there's got to be people out there who, when they get high, still are able to be angry or, I guess, upset, harm people. But, like, yeah. Surprises me that it's still even 2% in the last 12 months. But they go in a little bit to talk about it here. As for cannabis, a higher prevalence of secondhand harm was found among diverse. Through authors note that some harms may stem from punitive policies around marijuana rather than the drug itself. Yeah, that's true. Javin says, well, in Wisconsin, the numbers are skewed. So many people drinking, and because it's not legal, very few are using in comparison. True. Good point. Good point. Notably, the analysis found that people who use alcohol themselves had marginally higher odds of reporting secondhand alcohol harms because heavier drinkers are more frequently exposed to other heavier drinkers. That makes sense. People who use cannabis frequently had significantly lower odds of reporting secondhand cannabis harms, which is also consistent with the previous findings. Joshua shares, the Wild West aspect of legality here in Wisconsin is mind-blowing. Coming from rec legal Washington state to Wisconsin is a bit of a change, but here I am puffing on a totally legal Wisconsin-grown THCA pre-roll. The law is weird. It is, my man. It definitely is. Again, just a reminder with THCA, treat that thing like it is illegal in Wisconsin because a lot of those tests are done post-harvest with the THCA product. Not trying to scare you away from it or anything. Just it is the Wild West. It could be under, it could be over. It's interesting for sure, man. Stick around. We're going to try and figure this thing out, and hopefully we can get through to this legalization effort because it's definitely long overdue. But yeah, so that's interesting. As far as when it comes to the differences between cannabis use and alcohol use, I think this lines up at least with my experiences, and not so much surprising, not very surprising. So, Jill says, my stepfather-in-law was so drunk he had a stroke, which made him stop drinking. Damn. Yeah. That's sorry to hear that, for sure. But glad to hear that he was able to stop. Because yeah, alcohol is not fun on the body. Enjoy that THCA, not like the real deal. There's a couple places that have interesting act. I can't even think of this word. Interesting. I'm just gonna shut up. There are some folks pushing the envelope on that as far as that goes. We'll leave it at that kind of. Lisa says I can spend $1,000 a year in Michigan on my medicine, or $1,000 plus a month in Wisconsin for doctors that don't know anything and want to only treat the symptoms and not the disease's conditions. Yeah, I unfortunately can heavily relate with that. It's mind-boggling for sure, Lisa. Doesn't make any sense. But so that's what we got as far as the study that came out here. And again, that was from the, what was it called? I don't want to get it wrong when we're quoting here, the U.S. National Alcohol Survey. So interesting stuff. But again, makes sense if you think about it. All right. Next, we've got a legal battle between state and Lansing-based cannabis testing facility, which obviously could have some implications for the industry. One of the big things that is sometimes forgotten about by people who just think about legalization, that kind of stuff, is how you got to set up the testing for safe products. I mean, You got a laboratory that can test the product, but then it's a new setup. How many, it's going to take a lot of work to be able to test the amount of products that are going to be out once this goes legal. And there's always been a little bit of a concern as to legitimacy, as far as, especially with the hemp industry right now. You could, a lot of businesses unfortunately get a potency test and claim that as their COA, which just looks at, how much delta 8 or 9 is in here, but it doesn't show you that it's testing for pesticides. It doesn't show you any of the other minor cannabinoids, that kind of thing. So that'd be interesting to see what a legal state is dealing with over here next to us in Michigan. Looks like they've got a court battle between regulators and Michigan's largest cannabis testing facility that will have major implications for the state's marijuana industry. The case centers on Lansing-based Viridius Laboratories. This looks like the main thing in question here was a 2021 recall of thousands of cannabis products the company had verified for quality. That recall was partially struck down by a judge later that year. So WKAR's Sophia Salebi spoke with a reporter who recently put out a story on this ongoing legal fight for Detroit News. Appreciate that, Nate. Much love, brother. Appreciate you. There were several samples that Viridius had tested and passed as being able to be sold, that actually later tested positive, and when they were retested, and this is for a pesticide or a mold, as it tested positive for aspergillus, is a mold that definitely shouldn't be on marijuana in elevated amounts, and so that's what led to the massive recall. Of course, the judge later on defiantly downsized the recall because he said the agency hadn't done enough testing to show like all the product that was recalled was actually contaminated. And it's been in a court battle basically ever since the recall was issued. And that was 2021, and they're still dealing with this. Oh, boy. What's up, Ma? Thanks for swinging by. Got Deb in the house. That's Mama Beans. Well, no, that'd be Grandma Beans now. We got the baby on the way. So here's how Viridius responded to the recall. Viridius Labs feels like the state's testing of its product was off and that they believe that some of the data was incorrect. They believe that the agency was in fact targeting them for some unknown reason and potentially looking to decrease their market share in the safety compliance testing world. Hey, absolutely. So basically what this comes down to is how the results of this legal battle could impact the industry. Let's chop that up. From the state side, this is calling into question their recall that they did in November of 2021, which some estimated cost the market more than $200 million in marijuana products that were recalled. $200 million were recalled. So if that's the case, if this was a faulty recall, if it wasn't warranted, you have that dollar amount on the table, $200 million. That's a lot of money. Fellas, ladies, very moist. Yeah, it's wet out there, Todd. It's wet. And then if Viridius is wrong, if its potency tests are incorrect, and if this aspergillus tests are incorrect, it could be fined for continuing to use those potency tests or those testing methods moving forward. Both parties in this have a lot to lose depending on the outcome of the case. Dang. This does not sound fun. And this, again, is some of the things that, once we legalize, it's still going to be a bumpy road. These laboratories that are out there, you hope they're following, the rules, regulations, their equipment's up to date, they're not skewing numbers. But damn, when you start thinking of corruption, all that stuff, I mean, this battle has been going on since 2001. And essentially what the state is hoping to take it all off the table. As far as the questions about methodology, questions about the audits that could take place in the future. So basically what's going to happen, I'm guessing what they're getting at here is this is where we have to be checking. Somehow you've got to keep these places in check. It'll be interesting to see how they figure that out. We got Chew in the house. What's up, buddy? Hope all is well, brother. Hope all is well. Hope you and the family are doing well. Thanks for swinging by. But yeah, so again, legalization is going to be awesome when that happens, but we need to be keeping places in check along the way. We, the people, we can't let these businesses just start like, I can't even imagine the amount of times like a big competitor has tried to be like, yo, make their product test out. We'll give you $1 million. We want to market. Like, you hope that doesn't happen, right? I don't know. Javin says we used to send samples out to 2 different testing facilities to get a comparison between each testing facility here in Arizona. I think that'd be a great idea. And even, well, like especially hemp in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, I have a funny feeling that a lot of the places that get just the potency test done on their products, if you were to send those products out to a legit lab, I'm going to guess your numbers are going to be a little different than the COA they put on there. That's crazy. Todd says why we need to have the freedom of growing our own 100%. Absolutely. Dan in the house, thanks for swinging by. He says this is a joke. The Tavern League has too much pull in Wisconsin for this to ever happen. F Wisconsin. Good news is Tavern League isn't against us anymore. And actually, they've got a few growers on their state board that make hemp products, and a lot of them are selling the hemp drinks. They are not our enemy any longer. It is something deeper, and it definitely seems to be pulling the hardest on the Republican side right now as far as wanting only a very limited medical legalization. Just to get you up to date on that. But so again, just wanted to share with you a little bit of some of the other stuff once legalization happens. Again, we still got to figure out the testing methods, and then so like over here in Michigan, they've been dealing with this is ongoing for 3 years now. There's a $200 million recall on the product, but the state's saying it was good. Why'd you recall it? Interesting. Have to keep an eye on that. Have to see how that shakes out. Always something going on. Javin says, I'll say it again. Wisconsin needs to push for recreational and get their foot in the door first. Rec will follow. I think you are correct. Michigan surpassed California in sales. Saw that, Todd. We are definitely, Wisconsin is definitely helping out our friends to the north and to the east when it comes to taking down Cali. Get rid of Robin Voss. Birdman does seem to be an issue. He does seem to have an issue with anything good. See, now this hopefully is a good thing. Bipartisan Pennsylvania lawmakers announced marijuana legalization bill as neighboring Ohio readies market launch across the border. What? You mean when other states start legalizing, there's some states that say, holy crap, we need to legalize. Really? Wisconsin, you paying attention? Rob Voss, where you at on this topic? He says, no, don't do it. Bipartisan Pennsylvania lawmakers have announced their intent to file a new bill. They've been at this for a minute, but you'll see why I think this has a chance. A new bill to legalize recreational marijuana, soliciting support from colleagues amid a revived push for reform in the legislature as neighboring states move forward to open legal cannabis markets. So, in a co-sponsorship memo that was circulated on Monday, representatives, there's a Republican and a Democrat, noted that a growing number of states have enacted legalization, including most recently Ohio, which is primed to open their market with the lion's share of their licenses perched on the border of Pennsylvania as they seek to take capture of Pennsylvania dollars into their market. Switch these words. Switch Pennsylvania with Wisconsin and switch Ohio with Michigan. This is us, folks. Politicians, this is us. These folks are trying to figure something out. Where are we on cannabis and working together in the state of Wisconsin when it comes to the Democrats and Republicans? Oh, wait. They're not in session. And even when they were, they don't talk about it at all, working together. Accordingly, we believe that now is the time for Pennsylvania to move in a similar direction, and our bill establishes strong tenets for an adult use market. Bravo. The text of the legislation isn't available yet, but the lawmakers said it would create a regulated cannabis market under the Department of Agriculture, prioritize social equity in small businesses, enact safeguards to deter youth use, and generate tax revenue for law enforcement and local governments. That answers a lot of the concerns that that people have when it comes to legalization. Dare I say they might have actually spent some time looking into this? um, Javin says 38 states have medical cannabis. Give the people their medicine. Amen. Amen. Todd says Ohio is a huge red state, right? So it's surprising to see that they were able to figure that out a lot quicker than we are dealing with. Wisconsin's losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's for sure. We look effing stupid. Dry land. We do look not well educated. Not well educated. Jeremiah says it's insane to have to fight for the right to medicate, right? And again, it would be different if we're talking about a drug. Cannabis is not a drug by any definition. You don't cook it, you don't take bleach and Clorox or Clorox is bleach. You know what I mean? You don't mix the stuff up, kind of cook it on the stove, put it over here, dry it, shake it. It's a freaking plant. It's crazy. Todd says the state legislation doesn't work for us. I refuse to believe that one guy can hold legalization up. That's fair. And that's also a concern. Is it just being blamed on one guy and then other people are not acting on it because, oh, we should change? Well, actually, we can just blame it on him and we can focus on this other stuff. That seems very likely as well. So going back to this bill that they're working on, we hope this bill will act as a strong starting point for discussions around legalizing adult use cannabis in a thoughtful and strategic way. They wrote to their colleagues, please join us in co-sponsoring this important piece of legislation. They put out a press release that said the bill that will be introducing underscores our commitment to responsible, regulation of the cannabis industry while addressing the diverse needs of Pennsylvania's communities. By prioritizing public safety and consumer protection, which we're all for, Wisconsin, that's good. We can do this. When it comes to the legislators, this legislation would build on the successful regulatory structure of the state's medical program, continuing stringent standards for product quality, packaging, and labeling to ensure the well-being of all consumers. Sounds like a good idea. Looks like they added to say, well past time for the Commonwealth to legalize cannabis for recreational use, address the injustices of the failed war on drugs, amen, and ensure that Pennsylvanians can benefit from the industry in the same way our neighboring states have. Boom. Drop the mic right there. Drop the mic right there. Yep. Bingo. Nailed it. Very well done memo. I want to just copy and paste this and send it to everybody at the state, or not copy, share the article, share the memo with the people of Wisconsin politics and just ask, why can't we do something like this on any topic? It's not just cannabis. It's everything. You always hear the Republicans push a bill, but then the Democrats shut it down, and vice versa all the time, every day, in and out, up and down, and it's just frustrating. Are we a purple state because we can't work together? I don't think we're a purple state because we work together. I just realized that. I always thought a purple state was maybe a good thing because then you kind of got both sides, trying to work together, but it's not. Where I believe we're a purple state because we're so divided. Nothing gets passed with bipartisan support. I'm sure there's some, but it's just frustrating. Send it to me. I'll help you email. Let's go, Todd. Appreciate that. Kev says cannabis is a herb, and in the Bible, it literally says the Lord gave us herbs to use, right? Jill says it's our body, it's our choice. Amen. Lisa says blame game going on in Madison, right? Yeah. Good day, Mr. Beans. Good day, Deborah. While the rally only featured Democratic lawmakers. So there was a rally they had, looks like a couple weeks ago as well. So it sounds like Pennsylvania might be pulling it together. That'd be awesome if we could see them get it figured out. And maybe we'll be there one day, folks. Maybe we'll get there one day. But Javin says Wisconsin needs a big signature campaign in large numbers, even if it can't be used as a ballot initiative. I agree with you, buddy. I agree with you there. We've got a petition going for a public hearing on cannabis legalization. Uh, so definitely something that I would like to find a way to, if we need to beef up the wording on that to make it get a little more attention. I think we're at like 4,000 signatures here. And then the senator has gathered some as well. So I think we're maybe getting closer to 10,000. But I feel like there's definitely enough people to make something happen. And all we're trying to do is figure out what that is. So, like, Javin, appreciate you stopping by from a legal state, bringing the insight that you do. Appreciate you guys offering up to help. And we're going to figure it out. Again, uh, there ain't much else going on in the state for figuring out legalization, folks. So unfortunately, we don't really have anything to look to be like, hey, yeah, we're doing good, or oh, hey, maybe we try this. We're figuring this out as we go. But I think we are passionate enough about this plant that this has got to work. It's going to work as long as we don't give up. I feel like that's what politicians do a lot. So not all of them. There are some good politicians out there for sure. But I feel like the majority are collecting a paycheck and moving a pencil at the discretion of their boss. So we'll see. But with that, let you guys get back to your evening. Appreciate everybody stopping out. Appreciate the support very much, more than you guys know. It would be very weird if I was just on here. Like when I did that pre-recording for Friday, that was only 5 minutes. That was the weirdest feeling in the world when I can't engage with people. I love talking to you guys. I really appreciate your time. And again, I wish I could say that for sure we're going to be a part of this big thing. I sure think we are. I appreciate you guys, and I wish I could pay it forward more. But all I can do right now is try to be the voice or be a voice, a loud voice when the legislators are in session and try to bring this information to them. So hope everybody has a great night. We'll catch you again Wednesday. Bobby Beans, we're out of here, folks. See you guys later.